And moving on now to another story. As Rosh Hashanah ends, we reflect on new beginnings and fresh starts. And for thousands of women in Israel facing unplanned pregnancies, one organization, Efrat, provides hope, support, and real choices, helping them bring new life into the world with dignity. Joining us now is Nir Salomon, Executive Director of Efrat, to share how the organization is changing lives and how viewers can make a difference. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Neil, for viewers who may not know, what is Efrat's mission and why is it so important?
Efrat's mission is singular. It's to help pregnant women who are being pressured to terminate their pregnancy, usually for financial reasons. We're there to give them pause, to allow them to make a decision void of any external pressures. If it is finances that are hindering their choice, we're there to stand by their side. If they feel having another child is just too burdensome financially, we're there to help them.
Incredible. And so can you tell us a little bit about the people and effort involved in sort of collecting, providing, and delivering support ultimately to these women?
So Efrat's been around for about 47 years. We have volunteers in every single neighborhood of Israel. And that's really where we meet our women. We don't actually bring them in. Our headquarters are in Yerushalayim. We don't actually bring them into Yerushalayim, but from our headquarters go out over 3,500 packages of assistance every single month. To these women that need help, they get whatever they need. So we have volunteers that come and package it, about 8,000 volunteers that come through our warehouse every single year, and they send out the support to these women. At the point where the women live, a volunteer is there to care for her, from being there for her emotionally, helping out with her children, helping out with the home, and making sure she gets everything she needs. What does she need? So what we've discovered, when it's financially driven, the fear of the additional expenses of another child or her first child are very daunting. So we tell the woman, listen, if you're afraid that you can't afford a crib, a carriage, basic supplies for the baby, we'll take care of that. What do you want? You're already pregnant. It's your choice. Don't let those finances hinder you. So we provide a crib, a carriage, a baby bath when the baby's born. And for 24 months after which, she gets to her door every single month diapers, baby formula, clothing for the baby as the baby grows up, so that shouldn't be what's holding her under pressure. Being a mother is not so easy. There's other pressures, but that's where we come in.
Amazing. And could you sort of share the scale of Efrat's impact? I mean, how many women and children have you supported over the years?
So to date, we can say that we've supported close to 90,000 women have their children in 47 years. So there are probably hundreds of thousands of Israelis walking around that are a direct impact of Efrat. But for us, every woman is the entire world. Every child that is born there is an entire world. And every woman, it's very important to note, because the political landscape in America around the abortion issue is so complicated. This is about giving women the actual choice. And every woman who needs the assistance of Efrat actually keeps her child. These children are not being put in foster homes. They're not being adopted. These are women who are choosing to have their baby. If they need support, we're there for them. And then they go ahead and they raise their children. So today, close to 90,000 women, 90,000 babies. We're at the rate of over 3,000 children that we are bringing into this world, 3,000 women that we're supporting every single year.
Incredible. And so how can our viewers help Efrat continue sort of giving hope, giving a future to mothers and to their children?
So the easiest way is, first of all, to go into our website, efrat.org or cribefrat.org, either way. And first of all, learn about us, understand the tremendous impact. I just want to share with you one story, just to highlight the impact. During the war, we felt that we had to meet some of the soldiers that are our children, but we didn't know who they were. So at the beginning of the war, we raised funds to give warm jackets to soldiers all throughout Israel, up north and down south. Now, Efrat is not a war-related organization. However, we needed to do something. And at that mission of I myself handed out these jackets, we actually met hundreds of our children who, when they saw the emblem on our car, because the jackets had to not be branded, when they saw the emblem of Efrat, they said, wait a second, you're Efrat. Unfortunately, we're called Efrat from the abortions. That's what they call us. They says, you know, our mother told us that when she was pregnant with us, it was Efrat that saved our lives. In the middle of this whole ordeal, we raised about 10,000 jackets. A certain man calls me up. He's from the south in Israel. And he says, you know, my son needs jackets, you have to provide. I said, okay, but why are you being so aggressive? He was very aggressive on the phone. He says, don't you know who my son is? I said, no, I don't know who your son is. He says, you know, I had a store in the Shuk somewhere in the south of Israel, and we had 2 children, and my wife was pregnant with a 3rd. But we couldn't afford. The business wasn't doing well. We could barely feed our children that were alive. How can we now have another child? I told my wife she has to terminate the pregnancy. And out of nowhere, she said, like out of the sky, a woman appeared and said, listen, we know that you're pregnant. Somebody told us that you need help. We're here for you if you want. She said, what do you mean we're here for you if you want? And she just befriended her. If she wouldn't welcome us in, we wouldn't continue that discussion. But he says, you did continue the discussion, and this woman became my wife's best friend, and she wasn't willing to terminate the pregnancy. She really wanted this pregnancy. But I had no idea how I can provide. And I did not believe a word your organization said. You're going to come and provide me a crib, a carriage, 24 months of assistance. No way. You're probably a bunch of crazy liars that all you want is for my wife not to terminate the pregnancy. And that's just not what Efrat is. We want to restore the choice for a woman. If she chooses to terminate, that's her decision. If she chooses she wants to continue and she needs support, then there are organizations that are willing to support her. So says to me this father, you know who my son is? My son is your son. He's alive today because of the assistance that you provided. When I came home from the hospital, he says to me, I was crying. On the one hand, I was happy I had a new boy, but on the other hand, I did not know where to put his head to sleep. And as I drove back to my house, outside was a brand new crib, a brand new carriage, and everything you promised, you provided. Today, he's in the K-9 unit, fighting in the tunnels in Gaza to protect the entire Jewish people. Aren't you going to provide for him jackets? And in that way, we understood that what we did 21 years ago, today is really populating the next new generation. So these women that needed us at that point in time continued. They might have a 4th child and a 5th child. Their lives continue. But when they needed us most, we have to be there for them. So if any of the listeners understand that impact, come onto our website, efrat.org, and understand that here we can truly make a difference. We can help a woman in her need, and we can build another Jewish family in the land of Israel.
Absolutely. Nir Salomon, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.